Start the timer. Start this so I know. All right. Excuse me, Twitch. Don't be like that. There we go. Now we are all set up. Now I just wait. Oh my god. I can't believe someone beat Gab. This is unprecedented. And he's Why is that so louder than normal?
Fusiony just resubscribed for 31 months. MAMIYA time. Finally.
MAMIYA time. Yes, finally. MAMIYA is here. I'm very excited for the rest of the game. You know, Fusion, I understand where you're coming from. Sometimes you're consuming a very specific type of media, and then you experience a nebulous trauma, and it just clicks. You're like, oh, I get it now. What are you doing, Mayhem? This is the worst part of every single stream for me, because I just sit here awkwardly and wait for people to show up. Dude! Hi, Sans. Welcome. I will continue to watch, not because I want to be sad, but because I like the art. No, I am not coping. Yeah, quick, someone give me something to talk about. I just got an ad for the FNAF movie. I have yet to see a single trailer. And it, you know, I don't know anything about FNAF, so... and yes, Poyo, we will talk about how much I love FNAF. I love what it did to the broader horror community. It did not leave a negative, lasting impact on horror games at all, actually. It was only a net positive. How dare you start on time? I'm sorry, Gab. I just happened to have my shit together. And yes, Poyo, Poyo, when you consume sad media, and it's just, you know, it works so well, especially in a game like this where it gives you time to actually, you know, like the characters and want them to be happy. What are you doing, Mayhem? Can you stop? Hey, bud. All right, I'm gonna get started. I'm very excited. Continue. At the edge of my vision, I saw... What did he saw? He saw nothing. Donnie's shit was together. Gab's was not, because he was in the bathroom. It speaks volumes that only in the past few years are we seeing mascot horror projects that people unironically call good. And then there's fucking Bon Bon over there. The original FNAF was a legit breath of fresh air and a good horror game. The problem lies with everything that came after. See, I missed the hype on that completely. I don't know, I guess it was just like an internet blind spot for me. And so I was only exposed to the annoying part. On some more funny things, I had the option in a server with Mudai to get Miyu from Danganronpa V3 and a chicken from Yakuza, and I chose the chicken. That's a good choice. Alright, he didn't see anything. Apparently, there was no one there. Alright, guess I'll go back to the upper layer. The moment I thought that and let out a sigh. I mean, it's gotta be MAMIYA, right? You really gotta stop playing around, Natsume. The entity that appeared at the edge of my vision racked my entire body with chills. MAMIYA? MAMIYA, why are you here? Why, indeed. Whatever the case, you appeared too late. I found what-if scenarios where I can save them. I'm not scared of you. What's so funny? Nothing. I merely found it amusing that you're still saying things like that. I have the perfect word to describe someone like you. He brought his face close and stuck out his tongue. Dullard. Okay, that's the word. He's not wrong, though. Does Natsume make out with Mamiya? I mean, Poyo, you have the ability to write whatever fanfiction you want. You can make it happen. Why am I here? I wanted a bagel. So, Donnie, remember how I bragged about having competent property management? Well, apparently they came over, looked at the grounds, and left. They didn't even go inside any apartments, but they did inspect another complex. Why? Who knows? I think sometimes property management will just send out a blanket, like, we're going to inspect everyone, but they just have some, like, problem children in mind, if I had to guess. I instinctively pushed him away and put some distance between us. But who are you calling a dullard? Natsume, come on, be honest with yourself. Well, who else is here, dear spectator? You little... No, wait, I couldn't allow him to be in control here. His aim was precisely to disturb me. I'd only been playing into his hand by succumbing to anger. I had to observe this Mamiya for a while longer. The child with the rabbit mask, the conductor in a gas mask, the girl in the nurse outfit, and the invisible person. I'm not convinced the invisible person exists. Hello, RC. Welcome. I mean, we never saw a Mamiya in Keito's route. I don't know. I'm skeptical that Keito ever had a Mamiya. A human form was unlike any I'd seen in their stories. If the nice supernatural Mamiya and the Mamiya that the people from the Pink House knew were different entities. Are you the Mamiya that the people from the Pink House refer to? Give me your name. If you have a name like Natsume Soichiro, then go ahead and say it. You're not Natsume Soichiro anymore, are ya? But if you're that desperate for a name, I guess Mamiya Yumehisa should do. Mamiya Yumehisa. Call me whatever you want, you nameless spectator. I'm Natsume. I'm not nameless. Natsume is my name. Oh, you're actually still calling yourself that? Did all the interfering give you some kind of weird confidence in that? In that case, I'm Mamiya. If you insist on being Natsume, then call me Mamiya. So, what changed after all your meetings with those four? Was there any point to what you did? No, it was all worthless, a complete waste of effort. You were biting your tongue for nothing. Go on, then. Call me by my name. Mamiya! Good job. Whoa, I just bumped my head on the microphone. What are you doing? Man, Fiona! I mean, I don't know if Keito didn't have a Mamiya. How did Keito know its name? Maybe someone else's Mamiya was fucking with him? I have my reasons for speculating. Damn it. I can't believe it ended there. I wiped the blood pouring from my mouth for the first time in ages, filled my lungs with fresh air that tasted of books. Calm down. Breathe, Mamiya. Mamiya Yumehisa tried to flare me up, but I'd grown quite a bit. I had reached endings where Mamiya didn't destroy them, something I could only do by interfering. By experiencing that, I felt that something had changed. Albeit, little by little, the story has been altered. I sing a different ending. I expanded the amount of possible what-if scenarios. I can't let myself take his words seriously. It's all going in a good direction. I clenched my fist to get a feel for this reality. Also, my repeated spectating has given me some much-needed experience, and now I know how to do it properly. At first, I was merely watching things unfold without really knowing what was going on. Then I learned that I can easily find out what I want without even having to intervene. Back then, I used to absent-mindedly watch things play out before my eyes. However, I wasn't a guest, but a spectator. I have to focus on a single character. By doing that, I am able to steer the story in that character's direction. I could surely use that on those people from the cafe. whom I had yet to intervene with. A nice way to use the structure of a visual novel to make that work for you, game. I think it's too much of a coincidence that he would just so happen to have an imaginary friend or general hallucination called MAMIYA that just so happens to operate on the same wavelengths as the real MAMIYAs. Just about the only real piece of evidence from what I'm remembering is the very fact that it's invisible. I found a Korean children's cartoon that's pretty much What If Ghost Stories? Not the dub, but Pokemon. Interesting. With 4 characters, the content of the story became vague. However, if I wanted to do the equivalent of underlining the important bits, I have to focus on a single one of them. That can give me more information. This was a major step forward for me. The powers I'd gained as a spectator would allow me to get closer to the truth. All right, let's get to it. The important thing now was to choose who to focus on. I'd better make the decision quick. It wasn't optimal to change it later or let the information intersect. I should probably save. Let's... Oh, no, you don't want me to save? Okay, fine then, game. No, okay. Can I? No. Oh, I can, okay. There we go. So what would happen if you ended one of their routes and then hit continue? I don't know. I had to think on this. The info I would gain would change a lot depending on who it was. Mayhem. Now's not the time. The person I want to know the most about is... Oh, look. It's these people! We're gonna take it from the top unless... The only person we're going to do last is MAMIYA. So if you have a preference out of the other 3, please, who would you like to spend some time with here? No preference? No preferences? Yes, Mayhem. Is this where the sad parts begin? I'll let the others throw some darts. The girl? Okay. Huh? Oh, I don't know. Maybe there's a sync issue, but Mr. MAMIYA here we're saving for last. Sans wants the girl, so is this where the sad parts begin? Something like that. Poyo, if you didn't watch the first 4 VODs, then you might miss the saddest parts anyway. Anyway, the girl, we're going with Nigaki. I chose to observe Nigaki. What kind of person was she exactly? With that question in mind, I allowed myself to sink deeper into the story. Oh god, we're gonna be in the pink house. We're done, Mayuri. Great work today. Thanks. You really did great. Each angle is perfect. How do you catch on film something that doesn't exist? What, you mean like spirit photography? Come on, I can't take shots of things like that. Even if I did, I'd exercise it in the development stage. That's not what you know what? Never mind. Well, our job is to capture the invisible charm of models like you and make it visible to everyone. That's kind of a backhanded compliment, isn't it? Is this where the sad part begins? No, that's when you boot up the game. I assume because MAMIYA is the true route. Not exactly, but you'll understand when we get there. In that sense, all that matters is practice. I see. The other girl sure is late, though. There's less than half an hour left until the next photo shoot. I wonder if that's gonna be enough. Excuse me, Elena's no good. Huh? What do you mean she's no good? I've been unable to get in touch with her for a few days now. She used to still make it on time for each shoot, but this time's different. Are you saying she's slacking off? No, there's always been rumors that she was into drugs, so she might have disappeared. Seriously? Did she have a hallucination and go off somewhere? A hallucination. Well, whatever. Who cares about some model that disappeared? I'm assuming you have a replacement ready. You do, right? Yeah, she's from the same agency, and Nigaki's mind had completely tuned out the rest of their conversation. She was solely focused on the girl who disappeared. Good, just like that. Great pose, Mayuri. It's hella sexy. Hella? Sure, why not? Say, cameraman. Oh, how pensive. What's it like to hallucinate? Oh, well, I'm definitely hallucinating a bunch of little heart illusions around you right now. Come on, be serious. Well, I mean, it's a clear sign of mental illness, isn't it? Seeing things that aren't there is bad news, to say the least. Turn around for me. But what if the hallucination can talk, and what if it's fun to be around? Let's get some wind, and hey, that's even worse. You gotta be checked into a mental facility at that point. Don't ever do drugs, Mayuri, not even once. The idea that they make you thinner is a lie. Relax, I'm not going to do anything. I'm perfect the way I am. Wow, what a shot. I'm perfect. Yes. Yes. I know. Yes, I'm going to school. Work's also fine. Yes, it's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. Nothing's changed. No, I'm not being distant. Look, I know. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Yes, it's okay. Really. Don't cry, Mom. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Nigaki, how long have you been there? I just came in. Huh? Your parents aren't okay with this? If there's some kind of rule that I have to share every last detail of my Is there some kind of rule that I have to share every last detail of my personal life with you? I mean, I'd understand it if it came from the other two, but you're as old as I am. We're both just kids. And what will even change if I tell you? See? Nothing. Fine, you've made your points. I'm sorry. Talk to me if there's anything on your mind, though. I'd be happy to listen. Huh. She looks like that Fate girl. I forgot her name. I have, no idea what Fate is. So her MAMIYA is preying on self-esteem, then. Nigaki turned around and went back to her room. Toma, meanwhile, made a deep sigh and began reading a newspaper. Okay. Yep. We are in the pink house. Higaki Mayuri. I'd always thought she was pretty, but I didn't expect her to be an actual magazine model. Why was she always so discontent, though? She looked way prettier with a smile on her face. I should watch her for a bit longer. Yep. I love it here. I love the pink house. I love piano jump scare. The pink house realm of audio issues. There was a grove nearby. Nigaki stood before an odd-looking mound. It wasn't clear who'd made it, even its purpose was shrouded in mystery. However, Nigaki would come to look at it whenever something happened. To her, it was like visiting MAMIYA's grave that someone else had erected. She didn't want to believe that he'd died, and yet she kept wondering if she'd be happier if he had. What are you doing out here, Nigaki? It's Samejima. That is my name. Have you forgotten? Why are you here? I merely saw you walk into the forest. Despite how it may seem, I do happen to be a bit of a meddler. No, that's exactly how it seems, Samejima. While Nigaki was scared out of her wits, Samejima remained as calm and still as the surface of a lake. What is this? I'm not sure. It's just kind of here. I didn't make it, though. It's almost like MAMIYA's grave. I hate Samejima. That laugh of yours is giving me the creeps. I'm not particularly fond of graves myself. Huh? There's nothing buried here, is there? It's quite a meaningless thing, really. I'm unable to pray or shed tears like you do. That's not what I... Oh, I'm not making fun of you. If anything, what I feel is respect. You were able to do something I cannot. For the first time ever, she felt her fear of this man abate. My god, he really is a sassy gay foster father. Oh, truly. You're right. There's nothing buried here. I mean, Mommy is just missing. Right? Come on, Samijima, say something. Yes, indeed. The two looked up at the pine grove. The sky beyond the greenery was an unremarkably boring hue of gray. It's cold out here. Let's go back inside. Oh, my bad. Let's go back inside, Nigaki. Okay. Deep down, they knew for certain that they would never meet Mamiya ever again. That thought whirled within their hearts and melted into the ground, untouched by anyone. Just try and fucking say that again. I know you're a bird brain, so I'll repeat it as much as you want, or is it your ears that don't work? I'm home. It seems pretty heated in here. Should we put the faces in a safe spot? Okay, that's not... There appears to be a domestic violence situation going on in the pink house. I already did. We might as well hide the TV too. They used it as a weapon last time. What caused this particular fight anyway? They're punching each other over their outlooks on life. Now that's something. It's just a front, though. They wanted to know something about Mamiya. They're such idiots. I'll go stop them. Cleaning up a broken TV would be a pain. Then you'd have no TV. Hey, you two. What do you want, Bach? Don't you fucking try and stop us. I must fix this person's line of thinking once and for all. Stop acting like children. It's not like your lives matter to the other, is it? Huh? That two stopped in place. It does. Of course the stuff we all experience matters to us, all of us. Huh? Why does Mamiya only prey on certain people? That's what I'd like to know. Try thinking about the type of people who have a Mamiya, Poyo. Yet true people who are very vulnerable in a bad spot mentally. Because they're loser bitches. Okay, that's true. What's that supposed to mean? Don't pull Toma into your petty little fight. Oh, you two still haven't figured out the meaning behind this place? What? What about you? Huh? You strung-up schoolboy. What about you? What kind of life did you leave, and how did you end up meeting Mamiya? Say it. You act normal most of the time, but we're all birds of a feather here. That's the kind of place this house is supposed to be. That's true. Stop it, Arisugawa, this isn't the time! I'm actually quite curious myself. Samijima! And I'm certain you feel the same. Samijima's gaze made Nigaki look away. Indeed, she'd always wanted to know. Think about your life and your relationship to Mamiya. What do we have in common and what are our differences? You don't have to say it, Toma. You don't have to say a word about our lives. It has nothing to do with Mamiya coming back. Once Mamiya comes back, we won't have to live like this anymore. We'll be able to finally leave this awful place. Ha. Man, kids these days are a bunch of limp dicks. Alright, creative language. Aren't you ashamed of having to hide behind a woman? Arisugawa! You don't have to say anything yet. We'll have you talk eventually, though, and man, will you talk. Hell, we're gonna be needing an index. I'll talk to, so will this guy, and Nigaki, everyone here. We have us all remember the meaning. The reason why we're here. Make sure to polish up your oratory skills so it all goes knife. Me too. Thanks. Good advice. Sorry, Sugawa. It's smooth. Alright. Sometimes things went well. At others, they didn't. Through various exchanges, they seem to be drawing close. Alright. Settle down. Settle down, piano. Then things began to crack. Every now and then they realized that Mamiya was no longer with them. The realization would dawn on them while they listened to music, while they talked to classmates, while they ate breakfast. Right, Samijima turned around. There was no one there. I'm sorry, Time for food. Get the sauce. Are you seriously adding even more sauce? You'll get diabetes. Today's sunny side up fried eggs. We're twins. Something good just might happen. Huh. Maybe. Perhaps our days will become sunnier too. They resumed eating as if that previous exchange hadn't even happened. They had all repeatedly experienced what Samejima did just then, and every time they were struck with worry. What if Mamiya had never existed to begin with? However, admitting that would make them lose the only place they could call home. The four merely continued eating. What a twistedly unusual way to live together. Okay, well, settle down. I love the pink house. It's bound to fall apart any second now, but they act like they don't even realize it. Under these circumstances, it's only a matter of time until things go wrong and they start breaking down. Even now, things seem to be at a boiling point. They were surrounded by a thin sheet of ice and it was covered in cracks. Even so, they continued to dance without realizing it. The one who stood on those cracks the most was him. I can't take this. The echo of Toma's voice filled the post-dinner living room. It was a rending voice that no one had heard him use before. Nigaki, Arisugawa, and Samejima were all at a loss for words. I'm saying I've had enough of this way of life, our opinions, our rhythms. Nothing matches up. It's all in dissonance. Mamiya. Mamiya doesn't even exist. The words that escaped his trembling lips stung like a knife in the guts. Only the ticking of the clock broke the ominous silence. No one had said a thing. There wasn't anything to warm up the frozen atmosphere. Their minds went blank. None of them knew what to say. Or what was even right. Plot twist, it's Mamiya playing the piano and he's trolling you. True! Fuck, I miss Natsume prattling like a wannabe philosopher about their relationship. Damn my ADHD. I just think it was interesting that the egg was twins. There were two yolks in there. I just think that's interesting. People need to see and value a wide variety of perspectives to enjoy their lives. That's true. They didn't know what to do with their experiences. They didn't even have a firm sense of presence. Mamiya exists. If Mamiya doesn't exist, and what the hell have I been doing until now? You're right, Mamiya does exist. If he didn't, then that would mean I have always been alone. That the only person I've ever opened up to didn't even exist. No, I couldn't take that. Why would you even say something like that at this point? It was simple. We merely had to acknowledge and believe in Mamiya. And since we're here, so is Mamiya. That would make it impossible for the others to prove that he didn't exist. It's a potent alibi. If the four of us with our shared experience don't doubt it, we can keep this shared illusion stable. You're the one who said we should decide on a set of rules. And now I'm telling you it's become so twisted that we finally hit the boiling point. Don't you see the cracks spreading around us? We can't keep this illusion up anymore. You're all aware of it, aren't you? We were all passionate at the start, and the shock of Mamiya's disappearance allowed us to glean happiness from the fact that we found each other. That passion soon waned over time, and the opinions from our surroundings began to worm their way into our ears. We began to realize the difference between us and society. Hey, has anyone besides us ever acknowledged Mamiya? No one even tried to search for such a person. It's almost like he never existed, like he's been cut off from the rest of the world. You've experienced it, haven't you? Toma threw a sharp glare at Nigaki and Arisugawa, making them both clam up. Indeed, they'd experienced this before, even though they looked around. I did experience it. I asked around, but only I knew Mamiya. But if Mamiya never existed, then what of our memories? And the present that was built on them? I just need someone, anyone, to prove to me that MAMIYA existed. To prove to me that I was right. Wasn't this whole place established for that purpose? And now you're saying this can't go on anymore? Bach's right. We've already come to realize it. Shared illusion, eh? Must resist making a Wineko joke. Mutual schizophrenia? Mass hysteria? Something like that. Natsume is fucking punching the air, hearing Toma say no one has searched for MAMIYA. Damn. Poor Natsume. So what now? Are you saying you're just gonna forget all about MAMIYA? I could never do that. The memories I've made with MAMIYA are already a part of my life. You're saying we should just all give up? Since we're unable to keep up the lie that MAMIYA existed? We should just admit that the person was fictional all along. If we do that, we would just... And what do you think we should do? How can we put a period at the end of this reality? We should just end it once and for all. We need to put an end to this twisted way of living together and stop searching for MAMIYA's presence. The time has come to wake up from the dream. It's time to face reality head on. The reality that we're just mentally ill. Toma's very realistic about this. We're isolated from society, and we are the ones in the wrong. You're saying that we're wrong. I already know that. I know that, but if we break down, if we play along with society, then what'll become of our MAMIYA? An entire person would literally just disappear in the strictest sense of the word, and no one would be any wiser. You like me the way I am now, don't you? Oh, don't make a face like that. I'm sorry, Satoru. No, that was his. The feelings MAMIYA gave us are more than real. Mayuri, don't force yourself. Go at your own pace. Cry when you want, and don't be so tense around me. No one will hurt your pride here. Since we're the only ones who know MAMIYA would vanish the moment we look away. Toma, once you get to a point where you can talk about everything that's happened to you with a smile on your face, I'm sure you'll become stronger. MAMIYA. Yeah, it's rough out there, man. They're the only ones who know of MAMIYA. MAMIYA doesn't exist in this world. We're mentally ill people detached from society. So, since we can't play along with society, we have no choice but to break it. Let's use our power and spread the word of MAMIYA to many, many people. Arisugawa, is this all your fault? Is this your fault, Arisugawa? This is... MAMIYA must become like the scales of a song everyone knows, like the laws of a country, like the big three needs of mankind. Our goal is to create a situation where MAMIYA is known by everyone. MAMIYA saved us, so it's our turn to help those in need. And every time we do that, MAMIYA will be remembered. With gentleness and broad-mindedness, let's help others. Like the giant moon that sat above Tokyo Tower that night. So, MAMIYA is a meme come to life. Also, I feel like, okay, they're starting a cult. Yeah, cult time! I'm ready for a cult! I love cults! Yeah! So MAMIYA is like a meme come to life, like a meme in a sociological sense. Have you played Who's Lila? Because if you have, then you know. So how does MAMIYA actually kill people? Does he just act nice and not do anything? Yeah, no, Poyo, MAMIYA causes them to self-destruct. That is... Oh god, not Lila. Why are they so fixated on MAMIYA? MAMIYA is nothing but an illusion that doesn't even exist in their world. The moment I muttered that, I felt a certain discomfort in my left arm. What? My hand is itchy. Urged on by that peculiar sensation, I ended up taking off my glove. My hand, which had been protected by the glove all this time, suddenly had countless cuts on it. What is this? I checked my other hand too and found it similarly covered in reddish lines. When did I get these wounds? I've always had my gloves on. I looked at my palm and saw a red line appear out of nowhere, making it look like I was being cut by something invisible. Huh? It began at the tip of the middle finger and went down to the wrist. Ugh. Ah! Ugh! I could feel it. I could feel the lines forming under my clothes, on my elbows, my upper arms, my armpits. While still utterly befuddled. I love that word, befuddled. That's great. What had just occurred. Ugh. I suddenly felt a sharp pain. The kind you'd get from a paper cut flare across my entire right arm. I need to be more careful not to dirty the books. My palms, as well as both my arms, were bleeding without end. I ran back to the librarian while still trying to stop the bleeding. Miss Librarian? Oh, what's the matter, Natsu? My arms are, What? Your arms? Ah! What is this red liquid? Is this the thing they call blood? It took you long enough to realize. Blood, so this is blood? I love the librarian! MAMIYA was chewing on it. OMG, funny Lila reference. With a complexion as white as marble, the librarian looked intently at my injured arm. Do you have something I could use to stop the bleeding? Yes, we have to stop the bleeding. Unfortunately, there are no first aid kits around. These type of wounds never occur here, you see. Great! Not to worry, though. There is a hospital some distance away. I'll go there and get one. Thank you, and, I'm sorry. Oh, do not concern yourself with it, in any case. Wait just a moment, I'll be back shortly. She grabbed her coat and bag before running off like the wind. That was blood. It was so red. Left alone, I looked up at the clouded ceiling. Surrounded by black books, this place was like the bottom of the sea. I looked at the spines and saw faint numbers on them. Some were familiar, while others looked more like complex hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphs? I know how to read. They have a ghost hospital? They have a whole ass society up here, man. Also, she's just grabbing a first aid kit from the hospital and not bringing him to the hospital. God, she's so stupid, like literally, she doesn't know what's going on. She's doing her best. You just wanted to see the ghost hospital fusion, be honest. I mean, I did too. There wasn't a single story in here that I was in charge of. Their lives were utterly unremarkable when compared to the whole of mankind. I need the classical music to just... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, settle down a little bit. Even so, through blood and sweat, they did their best to live their lives. And I had to make sure that their feelings were rewarded. After all, only I could save them. She mentioned a hospital. I wonder how far it really is. Are there people really outside this facility in personal rooms? There's only one building here, though. Man, it would be so cool to get to explore this a little more. In the third part. Please, come on, come on! That would be so cool! I would love that! Man, I really am clueless, huh? I made a self-deprecating smile while looking in the direction of the librarian had disappeared to. I couldn't even touch any books until she returned. Greetings to you. Hello! I felt my shoulders trembling. This was the first time anyone other than the librarian had addressed me. She wore the exact same uniform as her. In other words, there were other librarians and spectators around. And the one behind the door. Had he ever worked here?
Apologies for the wait. I brought some bandages, gauzes, and antiseptic.
You've no idea how much I appreciate this.
Now I'd like you to sit down and show me your arms.
Are you sure about this?
Absolutely. I've learned how to treat a bleeding wound.
I did as told and presented my arm to her, after which she sat down next to me.
This might sting a little.
I can handle it. He does not look like he can handle it. I love it. Yes, Fusion, please. Use the word befuddled all the time. Make him drink the antiseptic. That's totally how it works.
I must say, though, the strangest things seem to happen to you. Normally, spectators never suffer injuries of any kind.
A sense of astonishment in her tone was clear as day. Really?
The world's people spectate are, of course, another matter entirely. But when it comes to this place, there's nothing here that can hurt us. There might be some other cause.
The way she touched me made it seem like she'd already figured everything I'd been doing. Figured out everything I'd already been doing. Whatever. I know how to read. Her closed eyes made it difficult to read her thoughts. I felt cold sweat gather on me.
You are certainly not a bore.
What?
People like you truly are a rarity. You got hurt, yet you remain fixated on a single story. What is our Lord thinking? I would prefer it if I didn't have to deal with uncertain variables. You are precarious.
She muttered that while putting the bandages on me.
You're a bit like that person.
Miss Librarian?
There, all done.
She pulled her hands away, leaving my arms covered in bandages. Wow, thank you so much.
Don't mention it, but please make sure it doesn't happen again. In any case, I'll be returning to my post.
She'd vanished beyond the bookshelves before I could say anything in response. That person. Hey you, what's with all the sighing in front of my door? So, do you know what she meant by that person? Huh? Never mind, forget I even asked. There's some kind of problem in the story again? No, it's got nothing to do with you. Am I imagining things, or are you treating me kind of differently this time? By the way, why are you even here in the first place? Gonna ignore that, eh? Well, whatever. So what do you mean by here? Well, you know, that dark place behind the door. It's almost like you're locked away. Aren't you some kind of spectator like me? There was a brief silence. What makes you think that? The advice you gave me in response to what I said about the story is far too precise. It didn't sound like mere conjecture. I sort of assumed you were talking from experience. Now I'm not sure if I've been talking too much or if you've just become more perceptive. As your senior in this, I'm hoping it's the latter. He chuckled in that cheerful tone of his. The librarian told me not to approach this place, but I can't imagine you as someone who'd be sinful in any way. Oh, but I am. This place may be separated from the flesh, but that doesn't make the sins etched onto one's soul go away. I'm a problem child and a joker who broke the rules for fun. I respect that. His tone beyond the door had become somewhat self-deriding. It felt like he was using big words to Natsume. Felt like he was using big words to avoid talking about a certain something. Could you tell me more? About your time as a spectator, I mean. Well, it's not much of a grand adventure, I assure you. I was young back then, and as people kept praising my abilities, I turned complacent. So I came to believe I could use my powers to save the whole story, or at least a character. And this is the result. I'm locked up, all thanks to my hubris. I could almost see him shrug behind the door. I was, however, still maintaining a serious expression. His story was too much like mine. I'm not like ya. He said that as if he'd read my mind. Yours is a rare and tragic case of someone retaining his memories from this time spent below. Well, that's why you want to save your friends in the first place. And you know, that's all well and good. My case, on the other hand, is quite different. I saw hundreds of stories and countless characters, but I ended up feeling sympathy for only one. This person didn't even take up too many pages in the story. His tone was filled with deep affection. It sounded positively heartrending. Do you regret what you did? Do you regret breaking the rules and being caught for trying to save someone? No. His tone turned gentle. Well, my circumstances don't really have anything to do with yours, so you might as well forget all about it. I can't just do that. I've learned many important things from you, and this is a story you hold dearly. It was an honor to hear it. You sure are a stick in the mud. I know I can't begin to understand your story or the pain you experienced. Even so, I think it was right for you to act based on your own sense of justice. Please don't let it get to you. Why, did I seem down to you? Yes, a bit. Oh man, you're a pain to talk to. I know I've just told you all this stuff, but I'm actually about to be released. Apparently the higher-ups are still fond of me, or I guess they just need more manpower. For a while, I'll be constantly observed and given a whole bunch of work. But that's par for the course, really. Does that mean you... Yeah, I just might get to see your face, newbie. Go produce some results before that happens, why don't ya? I will. Whoa, this went on for too long. She warned you, didn't she? There won't be a second time. Go back. Okay, see you next time. He's so happy. She totally knows. Like, when she for sure knows. Like, she must know, but she's not gonna do anything about it because it's entertaining. Which, fair. 50-50, the manner of speech is different, so I can see it going either way. I'm operating on the feeling that there are a lot of MAMIYAs, possibly. I've kind of wondered if MAMIYA was a spectator and tried to interfere and kind of became what he was. I don't know. I have a lot of theories. He might actually be released. He seemed genuinely humane and was someone I respected, and he sacrificed everything for the sake of love. The fact that he would soon be freed made me happy, like it was happening to me. I smiled, feeling as though the world was moving in a wonderful direction. Alright, I'm gonna do my best. Oh, the last thing that happened at a nightclub I was not a fan of. Also, she probably thinks Natsume is cute, but in the same way you would a puppy. Oh, for sure. Just like, oh, look at it go. It has no fucking idea what it's doing. So true. Say, Mayuri, is it true you don't have a boyfriend? Oh, it's true. I've never heard anything like that, and she's always away when we're talking about it. What a waste. Does she have high standards or something? What about me, then? Huh? Mayuri?
Erica, this isn't what you told me. What do you mean? You didn't tell me there'd be men here. I didn't? Well, whatever. The more the merrier, you know. Well, it is your birthday party, so I guess it's fine if you're okay with it. Look, I'm sorry. I know you're not good with guys, but do try to enjoy yourself, okay?
Mayuri smiled at the girl holding a paper cup in her hand. She wanted to be as kind as MAMIYA would have been to her.
Okay, and happy birthday. I love you. Thanks. Love you too.
Mayuri, come here.
Hey, get your hands off me!
Keep it down. Look, your dear Erica's here too. She's already having a good time, so here you go. Wouldn't want you missing out.
Stop!
Oh, hey, you're spilling it all over the floor. Oh man, where's the dustpan?
Erica!
Oh, she's already out of it, so don't expect a reaction. This is great. I love this. Hello, Kiro. bad time, Kiro. It's time for our second dose of nightclub sexual assault. Yeah! I had an idea while watching the Minato route. You know how Minato had a twin that died in the womb? That could have been MAMIYA reborn. MAMIYA and Minato do look kinda similar after all. What if everyone in the pink house is gay?
Huh? Erica?
Man, I really didn't expect my Yuri to come to Erica's birthday. I've had my eye on you for a while, you know.
Don't touch me!
Oh well, I guess you really do hate guys, huh? You a purity freak or something? A lesbian, maybe?
It's because you're nasty.
Whatever you say. We'll see how long that feistiness of yours can last. Ugh, God.
Stop it!
Oh, she's even prettier up close.
MAMIYA! MAMIYA!
MAMIYA, who's that, your boyfriend? Well, he sure as shit ain't coming to help you.
Help, MAMIYA! You've always been there for me! MAMIYA!
God, you're annoying. It's your own fault for picking such a shitty boyfriend. No matter how much she struggled, she couldn't overpower a man god. With this body, she would always end up losing to them.
Why? MAMIYA? You said you'd always take my side, so why didn't you come save me?
She took a thorough shower and went to her room without even drying her hair. The only thing she heard was the hum of the nearby radio. Let's move on to our next letter. It's from the pen name, Flashy Spectacles. I'm deep into my 20s, but I still can't for the life of me get a boyfriend. Recently, though, I've been spending most of my time with an imaginary person. Are you Lebanese? It was barely even an actual scene. It could, yeah, it certainly could. I doubt MAMIYA is on there, though. Well, that and the the Minato one was bad enough to certainly put MAMIYA on there. My parents keep nagging me about marriage, but I'm not interested. I did my best to be all beautiful for him. Even my colleagues have noticed the change. Every day I spend with him is wonderful. I really don't think there's anything wrong with a love like mine. What do you think? It's pretty impressive that you started to take care of your appearance for an imaginary guy, but at the end of the day, he's still just an illusion, right? Seeing how you've gone out of your way to pretty yourself up, why not try to find a real man and enjoy a normal, everyday romance? I mean, a hallucination will never be able to hold you in his arms. By the way, I also enjoy fantasizing about what my perfect girl would be like. Wait, that makes me the same as her! Anyway, moving on. Her radio got switched off mid-sentence. Droplets of water trickled down her still wet hair as a heavy silence hung over the room.
Really?
And in the darkness, she embraced her slender legs and began to tremble.
Hallucination will never be able to hold you in his arms. Yeah, Mommy is just an illusion, nothing more. I'll admit that I'm just a mentally ill person who's seeing an illusion. That illusion has given me so much. He's given me more than people that actually exist. He's had a huge impact on me. You've absolutely no right to make fun of him. None at all. You're all boring, mundane people. You've no right to mock MAMIYA. But even you...
Arisugawa's writing a story about MAMIYA, though. I can't. Arisugawa, your lip's bleeding. Sorry, I just can't write my story.
Huh?
I'm utterly unable to convey MAMIYA's qualities, charms, humor, or knowledge.
Why? Why can't you do it? Don't give up, Arisugawa. If you can't do it, then we... Do it. Come on. Just do it. Write your story already. Why can't you just do it?
Higaki.
Why?
So it seems that not a single one of us was able to feel it. We couldn't overcome society. We lost. All we did was realize how utterly weak we've been. Just the act of living is making my heart wear out. And it's always been like this. This world is so hard to live in. The only reason I'd managed to get by was because MAMIYA was there. No matter how many memories we share, none of you are MAMIYA. There's no point to anything if MAMIYA is no longer around. Why? If MAMIYA has no shape, that means she can stay around without ever dying. Why aren't you here, MAMIYA? Why didn't you take me with you? Is it the one dude who looks like an angry 14-year-old? I still don't know who MAMIYA is. Who is, MAMIYA? Fictional men are often better than real men, though. No offense to the real men here, which is all of you. I don't know if you're aware, but we're currently on the internet, which means that there's no women. There are no women on the internet. There are no females on the internet. That's what I get for indulging in misandry. This is a very interesting contrast to the main group. I agree. It's nice to have the secondary characters, if you could even call them that, really interesting and fun to read also. A world without you has no meaning whatsoever. Why? This is a lot to endure. The afternoon moon above was so much fainter than at night. Oh, MAMIYA is so far away. Their disappointment had turned to fatigue, and soon enough, they no longer had the will to muster up any more courage again.
MAMIYA! I'm back.
Sometimes you gotta go cry over an imaginary grave. Very normal girl behavior.
What?
You visited MAMIYA's grave?
Yeah, what of it?
Nigaki, you know there's nothing in that forest, right? The mound there, sure it's marked, but there's nothing actually buried underneath. Are you going to act like MAMIYA's dead? You won't learn anything if you keep silent, Betty.
Shut up! All of you, shut up!
This doesn't really concern you, now does it?
Samejima?
It shouldn't matter to you where she goes or what she thinks of the forest. You know what, Samejima? Get him. Really. At Samejima, it does actually matter. All four of us are linked to MAMIYA through our feelings. If that's not reason enough for us to care, I don't know what is. You're the one who reminded us about the purpose of this house. Or what? Are you going to tell us how your MAMIYA differs from ours?
It's fine.
Nigaki.
Samejima, you've done enough. Yeah, you're right.
Her shadow flickered. Her beautiful face became warped.
You want to know the story between me and MAMIYA?
Oh, she's got an evil laugh going on. She says.
All right, I'll tell you. This is what you've been wanting to know, right? You filthy men. I'll fulfill your wish.
MAMIYA is the ultimate hater. That's all I can describe. They're definitely opposite to the main cast in a lot of ways, namely how, even though MAMIYA inarguably feels like he has a much larger actual presence in the lives of the main cast, these people still let MAMIYA rule them way more than MAMIYA probably put effort in for them.
Welcome back, Mayuri. Yeah. I'm home, Mom. I was born beautiful. That fact is extremely important in the story between me and MAMIYA. There were girls who thought themselves pretty and wanted to be idols despite not looking all that great. However, I knew that I was above them all. I was a genuinely beautiful girl. This objective truth had been drilled into me ever since I was little. My parents did that too, especially my mother. She'd always treated me like a doll. You're such a wonderful girl, Mayuri. I'm so happy to have you. She would often brush my hair while I sat on her warm lap. I inherited my wavy hair from her, and she didn't even allow me to cut it. My only source of joy in life came from the stories she read me after thoroughly brushing my hair. We both wore princess-like nightgowns and lay in a fancy bed. Read Momotaro for me. Again, but we have Thumbelina and the Little Mermaid too. I want Momotaro. You must really love that story. I'll buy you some peaches next time. We'll eat them together. Then she began reading the story in that gentle, soothing voice of hers. A long, long time ago, in a land far, far away, there was an old man and an old lady. My father was a company employee who could hardly be labeled handsome. It seemed as though he'd fallen in love and married my mother purely for her looks.
Because we see Mamiya still trying as long as he can through Natsume sealing the cracks. He's slipping through, but here they're actually leaving the door open, but Mamiya still just doesn't care. It's also interesting to see people who've met Mamiya share their experiences with each other and wonder if they're sane. Yeah, that is really good. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I read that. We're good.
She didn't appear to mind, though. She was simply happy that her beautiful young daughter, born to a similarly gorgeous mother, would be turning more and more beautiful as time went on. I dressed like a doll and never played outside. That was my rule. After entering kindergarten, I actually realized that people were reacting differently to me. Everyone would be turning their heads to me, especially the adults. They stared at me in shock and smiled when our eyes met. At first, I'd taken it for granted. I believed that everyone in this world was allowed to indulge in such happiness. However, I was gravely mistaken. My looks, my beauty.
I don't know, I keep burping.
They were talents only a select few possessed. I was praised every time I passed someone, and was appraised on the regular.
This is just like Zen from Mystic Messenger.
This fate, this discrepancy. It had been there since I was born. I don't want to stop.
Shut up.
Leave me alone. Stop it!
Jesus.
In a desolate corner of the old high school building, I was assaulted by several male students, but no matter how hard I tried to resist, their bodies would simply not budge. When I tried to raise my voice, they covered my mouth with their hands.
Shut up, damn it. Don't fucking move.
How many times had this happened? How many times was I forced to curse my own lack of strength? Or my beauty? Before I knew it, my vision had turned blurry with tears. Actually, no, that was only a reaction to not being able to properly breathe. I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't broken. If I'd allowed them to break even my spirit, I would have been unable to maintain myself. Even as my consciousness began to fade, I continued to struggle. Suddenly, a large shadow appeared from the corner, accompanied by footsteps.
Shit, it's a teacher. What? Make her run for it.
The moment they said that, the men let me go and ran in the other direction. With my mouth finally freed, I filled my lungs with air. A tall shadow approached me as I continued hyperventilating.
Hey, are you...
Don't look at me! Don't look, stay away! I cried out with every last ounce of strength I still had left in my body. This was so embarrassing. He was a man before he was a teacher, so he obviously pretended to care while actually staring at my body. I knew this well by now. Male teachers were often inconsiderate and only pretended to care how students felt.
There you go, Novelle. I know you love this stuff. Nigaki needs to start pumping iron. You know.
Put this on. He placed a lab coat on my lap. Dumbfounded, I turned around. The man stood there while looking away from me. Go away. I'm telling you to go away! In a rush of emotion, I shouted to get him away from me. They might return, so I gotta stay here. The strength of that voice made me fall silent. Fix your clothes. I'll take you to the nurse's office. I won't look at you. I won't hurt your pride. While still looking away from me, the man carefully led me to the nurse's office on the first floor. Seems like you're mostly okay. There are some minor bruises, and it doesn't look like they'll leave a mark either. You must have been so scared they don't look like they'll leave a mark. Yup. Mayhaps even. Damn, he got the looks. Could you recognize the people who did this? Do you know their names, perhaps? I shook my head. I see. At any rate, do come to me if you need anything. You might occasionally remember what happened today, and it'll be painful. But don't hesitate to rely on me if you need someone to listen. I'll be off now. After closing the door, I bit my lip in chagrin. What nonsense. A doctor wasn't there to help when I actually needed it. That was just talk. You hungry? I looked to the source of the voice. It was the man from before. You're still here? You like ohagi? I think they're great. I don't need your pity if that's what this is supposed to be. Rumble. You like ohagi? I don't mind them. The man opened the door to the second science classroom and invited me in. Probably out of consideration for me, he kept the door open as he began boiling water. That is, in fact, very considerate. There we go. Ohagi can't have Japanese treats like these without green tea. Science teachers actually use alcohol lamps to boil? He gave me a rather old-fashioned cup. The tea inside was cheap, but it warmed me up. We continued to eat the ohagi with the sale seal on them. He probably had lots of questions for me, but remained silent, probably to allow me to process things. What's your name? What? This guy. Was he really that into his ohagi? I was a little annoyed by that, but I realized I had to be nicer to the person who had literally just saved me, so I cleared my throat and spoke up again. May I ask your name? My name? I don't believe we've met before. Oh, right, I don't teach second year, so that would explain it. I'm MAMIYA, I teach chemistry. MAMIYA. You're just gonna repeat it like that? His shoulders dropped and I couldn't help but smile. I know your name though, Nigaki Mayuri from class 2D. Whenever ohagi is mentioned, it always reminds me of Higurashi. Me too! I like how casually that school doctor talks about trauma. You may occasionally remember it. Don't worry, it won't leave a mark, they say. Okay, so this just got complex. It kind of felt like MAMIYA just sort of made up the name on the fly. A real school doctor would never. Did my school even... If my school had a school nurse, I never once saw them or who they were. How do you know that? You're famous even among teachers, you know. Imagining them talking about me made me feel unpleasant. They say you're bad at memorization, your chemistry scores are particularly awful. What? I looked at him in shock. He gave me a wide grin with some red bean paste from the ohagi still sticking to his mouth. Make sure to study when you get home, okay? I didn't hear your answer. Yes, sir, I will. I answered him, albeit reluctantly. MAMIYA nodded in satisfaction. I know I sure as hell didn't have a school nurse. My high school hired a psychologist the very year after I graduated. We had, like, school counselors. I'm sure they have some kind of
relevant degree, you would think.
All eyes were glued to me when I opened the door to the classroom. Look, it's Mayuri. She's so cute. Let's go talk to her. She'll probably just ignore us.
Man, her tits are huge. Wonder what cup they are. She's got such a great body. I could totally see her as a. I never remember how to say that. A model. I wouldn't even be surprised to see her in some magazine. Stop that, you dumbass. I did feel like I stood out in class. I swore to stop trying to make friends all the way back in middle school. I had no male or female friends, and all I did was silently listen to my teachers. I'd never once felt lonely, though. And besides, this was much easier than having to deal with the frequent clashes that came with human interaction. Yeah, alright, I feel that. As classes went on, I had nothing but that teacher on my mind. MAMIYA, that spectacled, unreliable-looking teacher. Thankfully, even if I didn't pay attention during classes, I was beautiful enough to get away with it. He said he was a chemistry teacher. How did he teach? What was his writing like? Did he help other students like he helped me? He was a strange teacher. Alright, that should be good. Sometime after the bell rang, I stuck my head out of the girls' bathroom. The hallways were wrapped in a pleasant silence while the students in other classes were being taught. We had gym for 5th period. I didn't want to go, so I hid in the bathroom and waited. Where should I go? The garden, maybe? As I wandered around the hall, I saw a tall silhouette ahead. That haircut, that lab coat. I squinted and started observing him, but then he went and dropped the obscene amount of files he was carrying. Oh, man. Stop talking about your tits. She didn't want to talk about her tits. We also didn't have a science lab until also the very year after I graduated. We had a science lab, but I never really got to use anything cool in it except for like the dissecting stuff. I got to dissect a lot of cool things, like the sharks were the most memorable. My shark was pregnant. That was interesting. And I also love that the very first thing the teacher says is, don't touch the teeth. Listen to me, do not touch the teeth. And the first thing my lab partner did was touch the fucking teeth. I did cool things in chemistry last year. Nice, nice. I had to remember Limp Bizkit, so it's been a day. I'm so sorry that you went through that. I don't think I've ever even listened to Limp Bizkit. The only experience I have with them is just my cousin having one of their CDs. I touched the teeth too. What happened? She cut her finger open. Obviously. I dissected fetal pigs. I also did some stuff in chemistry that I barely remember. We got to dissect some, like, starfish once, too. I didn't really see the point in dissecting a starfish. There's not really anything in there. Why did you have to pick up so many of them? I crouched down and helped MAMIYA pick up the files. I thought it'd go well this time. Seriously? Jesus. Alright, that's everything. Thanks for the help. Don't mention it. So, Nigaki Mayuri, what exactly are you doing out here? Shouldn't you be in class? His weakly aura suddenly vanished, and he looked at me with a sharp gleam in his eyes. I was on my way to the, nurse's office. That's in the other direction, though. Well, I just came down the stairs and saw you dropping those files, so I figured I'd help out. My desperate attempt at coming up with an excuse made MAMIYA chuckle. I was initially shocked, but then immediately realized what a dumb, embarrassing thing I'd just said. Anyway, could you help me carry this to the science room? Sure. So, how are you holding up? Fine, I only got a few minor bruises, but that's about it. I see. I'll talk to the others and try to make sure that something like that never happens again. Well, you know, I didn't expect much from teachers. Whenever they said something like that, it was usually nothing more than empty talk. I don't have any friends, and besides, I only come to school because I've nothing better to do.
He ignored my mutter and looked at the TV. I wonder who's gonna win. He was watching a baseball match while snacking on dried fish. What a hopeless teacher. I glared at him with all the disgust I could muster. Then the commercials began, and one of them captured my attention. Oh, I know this. It's a card game that got an anime.
I wonder which one. Regular class got frogs, we got pigs. I also did the frogs. Your biology class sounds cooler than mine, and I was in an honor class. We separated the smell. Well, we didn't have honor classes, so I guess except we had English honors, but there weren't any other honors classes. We separated the smell of cinnamon from the actual cinnamon itself. That is interesting. Worst part is it's an old-ass 60-year-old man on a motorcycle calling himself the American Badass. That reminds me of Limp Bizkit. But you dissected a starfish and a shark. Yeah, we did. This MAMIYA definitely watches the Marvel Olympics. That is such a specific thing for you to say, Sans.
It was the one with the transforming cards that battled each other.
Oh, cars. Cars. Oh, okay. Transformers, then.
Different cars had different compatibility with each other, and the various transformations made it really popular with the boys.
If it's getting commercials now, that means it's still popular, right?
Oh, I see. I have that one.
The card for that car?
Yeah, there were some cards thrown into a bush in a park. I picked up the ones I liked. I see, so it's still being used. It might actually be a popular card.
Have you never played the card game itself?
No. You need to have a lot of cards to play it. Just a few won't do. I asked my mom to buy me some while we were shopping, but she insisted that we get tarot cards instead. That's fine though, I don't have anyone to play against, and tarot fortune telling is fun in its own right.
I don't have these cards either, but I think I can play with normal playing cards just fine. Wanna try?
Well, if you insist, then sure.
Isn't this a bit unrefined, though? It's popular among younger girls right now. Oh, am I falling behind? I really should study some more for your sake, Mayuri. She gathered herself in a heartwarming way. Mother was as kind to me as ever. I dressed like a princess at home and took care to only eat low-sugar food. My clothes had all been picked by Mom. She greatly enjoyed decorating me. She also did my makeup, my hair, and made me wear dresses she was fond of. Having a good look at me when she was done seemed to be one of her greatest pleasures in life. Oh, Mayuri, my sweet, sweet Mayuri. I love you so much. Never leave my side, okay? Yeah, good for her for being in the pink house. It's still dysfunctional, but you know. You know, I'm pretty sure that you can just, like, buy frogs to dissect. So if you have the urge, Gab, to do that, you know, before you die, the option is probably there. But it does smell really bad. So there is that to consider. I was used to her hugging me by now. She'd done this for as long as I could remember. Me too. I love you too, Mom. The pink house also has 3 men that are not attracted to her in any way. She's living her best life in the pink house. Disaster bisexual, more like disaster by winning. So, funny story about dissecting animals. My dad, back in the day, got to dissect an animal in biology class. Deep down, though, I found myself really embarrassed. It had become a daily habit of mine to visit the second science classroom after school. MAMIYA would always have me over for tea and snacks. The food he prepared was nothing special, but is it okay for a teacher to do this? As long as no one finds out. Weird. But I felt that he was giving me special treatment. It made me happy so I could almost burst. like Samejima and Glasses Guy with Long Name are totally having hate sex every other night. And Toma, I don't know about Toma for certain yet. He's definitely at the very least normal around Nigaki. True. This class had the option to choose between a frog and a bird. The bird was hard mode because afterwards they had to reconstruct the skeleton, and the bird's is more complex. One of my favorite projects that I had to do, this was in elementary school, I want to say. We had to dissect owl pellets, owl vomit, and put together the skeleton that was inside. That was the coolest shit, dude. I wish I could have kept the skeleton, but, well, you know. I'd break the bones. We were alone in here. He gave me green tea boiled in a beaker. We discussed generally unremarkable things. However, it was my first time actually talking to someone like this. Oh, that's so sad, Nigaki. His carefree, gentle voice, the watch on his inner wrist, the feel of his chalk-stained lab coat, all of it was so new to me. So one group brought in a cat to be dissected. They didn't give the cat enough anesthesia, so as soon as they started and cut the— oh no, oh god, oh no, no one saw it again, but it went— oh my god, oh god, that's terrible. So kind of interesting that you do say that, Gab, but I had Novelle watch May with me today because, you know, I'm trying to watch some horror movies because it doesn't feel like October and I want it to feel like October, so I'm watching a bunch of scary movies. Something very, 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 very similar to that happens in May, or just like damn near identical, but it was like malpractice on a vet's part. But yeah. Did they not make sure it was dead first? Clearly not. Everything that I've ever dissected has come in a, you know, a cooled box already dead. Even the taste of salt around my lips seems like a wonderful thing if MAMIYA was there. Oh, it's gotten quite late. It really has. It's already dark out. See you tomorrow, then. Sure, take care. Huh? Thanks. Don't mention it. Oh, Yuri, where have you been? It's so late. It's only 7. I was just chatting with a friend. Really? Poor girl. It must have been scary to walk around in the dark all by yourself. I wouldn't call it scary, but okay. Where's Dad? He had to leave on business. He'll be home by tomorrow, though. Oh, I'll be looking forward to his souvenirs. Say, my Yuri, why don't we take a bath together? What? We should enjoy ourselves while your father's away, you know. Look, I even have some bubble bath. I don't want to. It's too embarrassing. But why? We used to bathe together all the time. Yeah, but I was little then. Things are different now. Well, all right. I suppose I'll have a bubble bath alone. There's absolutely no way. I'd go take a bath with her. Good morning, my Yuri, my cute little my Yuri. Please promise me you'll stay the pretty little rose you are now. So, Mom, yes? I want to quit being a model. The warm atmosphere between us had frozen over in a split second. Why? Did something bad happen? Not really, no. And why? Is there something else you'd like to do instead, like piano, ballet, flower arrangement, perhaps? I want to cut my hair. I've always had it long, you know? I want to try what it'd be like to cut it short for once. Mayuri. I mean, that's what's popular right now. Come on, Mom. No. You can't do that, Mayuri. Hair is a woman's crown and glory. Besides, do you know any other girl with hair as beautiful and wavy as yours? Listen, Mayuri, beauty exists for everyone's sake. It does? You are lovely and beautiful, and that alone is a wonderful thing. So please, Mayuri, don't say things like wanting to cut your hair or quit modeling. Beauty existed for everyone's sake. But did you know, Mom?
Did you know that my beauty was the very reason men hurt me? It prevented me from doing what I wanted. The cards I'd picked up at the park were still in the drawer. Okay, I'm sorry for saying all these weird things. Mayuri, gosh, look at the time. I'm doing a day shift, so I'll have to go now. Okay, goodbye, take care.
Hello, Wolfies. If we could... The shit has hit the fan, as it often does. We can remove our pig's brain while keeping it intact. We get bonus points. Brains are surprisingly not firm. The same thing with the sharks, but it did not apply to the brain, it applied to the eye. That's what we were supposed to get out unscathed. Did I say hi? Hello, Wolfies? I don't know if I said hi to you or not, so I'm doing it again.
Mom, I actually... Even so, I'd chosen tarot cards over the car-themed card game. That was what Mother wanted, after all, and it made her happy. Why couldn't the world's people live without God? We were the peak of all animals here, yet we were all subjected to foolish worries. We needed someone above us to show us the way. People were helpless on their own. They were weak and had no choice but to rely on others. So weak. I'm so weak. I was also controlled by my mother, yet I found peace in that. I was such a weak person. Oh, Mayuri. MAMIYA. What's wrong? You're making a gloomy face. I don't want to go home. Why? Did something bad happen? I don't want to see my mom. You shouldn't say that. Let me stay over at your place. Yeah, let's just go with that. You're single, right? There's no problem then. Mayuri. Wait, do you actually have a lover? I don't mind that either. We can just forget all about it after it's over. I mean, a chance like this won't come again. What was I saying? I won't mind. What was even coming out of my mouth? I won't mind if it's you. The sound of rain was so annoying. The side of the window was so cold. Why was MAMIYA always leaning against the wall while he talked?
I want to know more about that.
And why did it seem like I was being cornered? You're the last person I wanted to hear that from. But... This is all I have! There's no value to me other than my looks, so I have to make use of it, otherwise I'd be completely worthless. Before I could finish that sentence, MAMIYA slapped me across the cheek. Huh? No way. What, did you just slap my face? Seriously? Huh? My face enchanted everyone. Just passing by people would make them ecstatic. They ran to me with bouquets in hand. It was a treasure shared by everyone, and yet he... I don't care. You need to cool your head. Go die in a ditch, you sorry excuse for a teacher. I'll tell everyone you raped me. They'll kick you out of school real fast. Do whatever you want. I hate you. And with that, I stormed out of the room. How could he? I was behind the stairs on the first floor, crying under the diagonal concrete. The concrete was moist and cold, robbing my legs of more and more warmth. I was cold, sad, and felt like I was alone in this world. I just don't want to go home. I considered spending the night here. I would avoid the security patrols. I would spend the entire night here in this empty school building. They could panic and run around looking for me for all I cared. MAMIYA and my mom would believe I ran away and regret everything they'd said to me. I'll never forgive them. This was supposed to be my way of taking revenge. I didn't think about what would happen afterwards. I was too frustrated and entirely too proud to do that. I'll never, ever forgive them. Really? You won't? I heard something from the stairs above. It was a reassuring voice, and just hearing it nearly brought me to tears. Hey, Mayuri. You're there, aren't you? I wanted him to go away. I just told him that I wouldn't forgive him, and yet hearing his voice made me waver this easily. Mayuri. Come on, if you tell on me, I'll be in huge trouble. A teacher that eats snacks, watches baseball, and slacks all the time won't go well by them. Anything to not, be... Hello, Peg! What was MAMIYA cooking? Did MAMIYA really have a penchant for leaning against walls for the main cast? I don't know! Ramen noodles with spaghetti. Sometimes it's like that. I was shocked. This man was just so... I might be unable to come to school ever again. So please, Mayuri, let's make up. I don't care what happens... Oh, no, my bad. I don't care what happens to you. It's not like I've forgiven you or anything. But I would feel bad if you couldn't come to school again. I slipped out from below the stairs and looked up where the voice came from. MAMIYA made a surprisingly warm smile. Mommy... Man, it's so late. The main door must be closed by now. MAMIYA. Should we stay the night in school? Huh? It was winter, meaning the sun had set early. The rain clouds above had drifted off into the far distance. In their place sat a crescent moon, its curve like a wound upon the purple sky. Such pretty words, game. Such pretty words. MAMIYA and I looked through the window of the heated classroom. He treated me to some dried snacks he had reserved. Unbelievable, he was treating school property like his own. Say, MAMIYA, have you ever felt like you weren't comfortable in your own home? Not really. Oh, I'm jealous. No. MAMIYA consistently leaning against walls for this cast may play into what I was talking about earlier. Something about them just doesn't mesh as well as the main cast did with MAMIYA, so he kept leaning against the wall, almost like a sign of discomfort. I think it's really interesting how MAMIYA is always up against the wall, but the Pink House crew here say that they are the ones who felt cornered, and I think there's something to that, but I don't know what yet. I was too busy trying not to get kicked out. Teachers are so unfair. Huh? They know the students' family backgrounds, but we students don't know anything about our teachers. You always helped me out, but what about the reverse? I want to help you too, but you already do. That's a lie. No, it isn't. When MAMIYA looked up at the moon, I did the same. One day, I'll go back to the trichilocosm. What's that? The moon. Is that something third-year chemistry students learn? I don't know, it's probably not in the textbooks. The trichilocosm. You won't take me there, will you? So... does that mean that MAMIYA might really sincerely think that he's correcting his past mistakes? Look, I know you'll just end up going back there, no matter how hard I cry and dwell. Mayuri, the trichilocosm wouldn't suit you. Why? I can decide if it does. Why don't you use that energy to make up with your mother? Oh, shut up. Nothing will change unless you actually do something. Take action and things will change. Whether they'll go in a good or bad direction is up to you. Stop lecturing me. I am a teacher, though, in case you forgot.
Natsume was so lucky that his group did not have any major parental issues, because how the fuck do you fix it? Poyo! Poyo! Hey, listen, Poyo, listen to me. Listen to me, Poyo. Listen to me. Go watch the first 4 VODs. I am begging you now, Poyo. I'm begging you. I'm on my hands and knees, please, Poyo. Just go watch the first 4 VODs. Just do that. Poyo, I'm so serious. Poyo, I am so fucking serious right now. Just go. You need to. If you are going to be here for the rest of this game, you need to go watch them. You need to do that. You don't even have to read, Poyo. You just have to listen to me. Do my best. I will bark in your DMs if you don't watch the VODs, Poyo. Poyo, come on. Please, just do it. Just do it, Poyo. Just do it.
Mamiya smiled and rubbed my head. There was genuine care as well as a clear sense of rejection in his behavior. I was irritated by my own powerlessness. The cherry blossoms danced in the wind. Those with graduation certificates in hand would never come back here, and I would never meet this man again. In a deserted area behind the school, I abandoned my place in the spotlight to keep him all to myself.
I have to listen to a woman? The West is falling. You have to listen to a woman trying to be a man. I have to try and read all these dudes. It's really hard. So, go appreciate my efforts, Poyo. But yeah, I'm definitely getting distinctly different vibes from this MAMIYA than anything he did for the main cast. Definitely plays into that revelation I had before.
The graduating students had messed around with him a lot, as evidenced by his scruffy hair.
Pretty art!
Mamiya, bend forward. He did as told. As I brushed his hair, a cherry petal landed on his head. I almost picked it up, but instead left it as it was. I assumed I'd had enough. Assuming I'd had enough, he moved his head, which made the petal fall. He called my name with a smile, and I found it so unfair. You can't just do that. Do what? You're being so unfair right now. Huh? What do you mean? Did he really think it wouldn't move my heart to be called by my first name? This man easily stripped away the layers of cold, spiky armor I had built up. And when it all melted away and exposed my bare, naked self, what then?
Pretty art! Sounds like MAMIYA tried to help people who thought they could be saved and then gave up on saving anyone. Yeah, it sounds like MAMIYA might actually genuinely believe that he's helping people with the Natsume stuff. And MAMIYA might genuinely see Natsume as a villain from his perspective anyway, which is interesting, if true.
Mamiya. Mamiya. I could no longer keep my unbridled feelings in check. Struggling to hold in the tears, I looked him straight in the eyes. I didn't know why, but I felt I had to burn his image into my mind. If I didn't, I would certainly come to regret it, or so I thought. That happened in the spring of this year, and it turns out I was right. A few months after that, Mamiya suddenly vanished. I looked in the staff room, searched the entire school, but he was nowhere to be found. Excuse me. Nigaki, what's wrong? It's about Mamiya. Do you happen to know where Mr. Mamiya is? Mr. Mamiya? He teaches chemistry. He wears a lab coat and glasses. Do you know him? Can't say I do. Did we ever have someone like that working here? Nigaki, wait! Why? How? Why doesn't anyone know him? I looked at the list of teachers, students, and other staff, but didn't find Mamiya's name anywhere. I even looked all over town, but found no trace of him whatsoever. I remembered the cherry blossoms dancing in the breeze, as the cold northern winds of December ruffled my skirt. Well, satisfied. My story might not be much compared to yours, but still. Toma's right. I actually wish that Mamiya were dead. As time went on, I gradually realized that it'd probably be easier to think that he were. I mean, if Mamiya never actually existed, he was merely someone I hallucinated. It would mean that I never actually had anyone who genuinely understood me. And so, I went to that grave despite not even knowing who had erected it. I skipped the rest of that line. But we can see the log. And so I went to that grave despite not even knowing who had erected it. I went there to pray and to cry, hoping that Mamiya was really buried underneath that soil.
Yeah, I definitely think there's definitely one very distinct difference between this cast and the main cast. They're slightly stronger. They are still doing just as bad for very similar reasons, and they're self-aware of that, but they aren't really strong enough to see how it's possible to change, but they're just strong enough to not end up letting themselves die like everyone in the main cast. Time to ship Boyo East? Maybe it is.
Will he really return? Would he come back for me from that trichilocosm or whatever? If he does ever show himself in front of me again. I'd love to play cards with him. Still holding the book, I fell silent. I tried my best to remain objective, but I couldn't help but become invested. I was simply that moved by their stories. How come they see Mamiya as a positive entity? I mean, it's Mamiya's fault that my friends end up dying. Looking back at it, the various Mamiyas did frequently act supportive of my friends. It was just that the endings of each story was far too cruel. Had these people also end up dying horrible deaths? Or it could be that the stories differ in several ways. It's not going to be easy, but I can't make any judgment unless I see everything through to the end. There was one common point between all of the Mamiyas, though. A trichilocosm. It was a word I'd heard many times now. What could it be? Would you like to find out? I was startled by the sudden voice coming from behind me. Why? Oh, hey, the gang's all here! Why are you all here? They all sounded a chuckle, almost as if they were enjoying my reaction. Shouldn't that be obvious? We're here to lead the children we so dearly love to the trichilocosm. A trichilocosm? Good thing you're here, then. I have many things to ask you all. Go on. I can't guarantee that we'll answer, though. What are you trying to achieve, and what is the trichilocosm? Oh, we don't need to answer that. You should already know. What? You still don't get it. How dull. I mustn't let them be in control. Natsume, fight the children! Say, spectator, don't you feel it? Oh. Hey, spectator, don't you feel it? I don't know who's talking, they're all named Mamiya. It doesn't matter. A nurse girl's abrupt question came like a gust of wind. The very act of living is full of contradictions. The boy in the gas mask and the boy with the rabbit mask continued to weave more words. The more things you gain, the more you want, and the more you fear losing it all. Strange, isn't it? I mean, we all start with nothing. Yes, souls never had bodies to begin with.
Their clear voices rendered me speechless. You understand, don't you? Even our flesh is borrowed. I looked at the transient body I'd used as a spectator. Originally, we know everything that is in this world was in the ideal kingdom we call the Trichilocosm. They all gain transient forms and appear in this world as phenomena. And so, we bring them back. We merely take things from this wretched world and return them to the peaceful land they came from. And that's why you make them die? My fist was trembling with anger. Is that so strange? Well, of course, none of this makes any sense! Even if what you say is true, it's still dead! We're telling you, spectator, the death is nothing to be afraid of. In fact, it's a vital part of the process wherein you let go of your unnecessary flesh and travel to the paradise that is the Trichilocosm. I don't understand your line of thought. Listen, even if the Trichilocosm really does exist, they live right here in this world. Maybe they'll be happier in the Trichilocosm, but dying means the end for them here. As always, you only think in terms of flesh and bone. That voice. A scarfed man appeared from between the children. Oh, my bad. There you are, MAMIYA. Oh dear, getting you to understand things is exhausting, don't you agree? Us. Seriously, he doesn't even try to comprehend us. He's so dull.
You should tell him something too.
Let's see, what did you say a moment ago? Dying means the end for them here? You really do look only at this world. That's precisely why you can't think beyond it. If your sight extends all the way to the Trichilocosm, death becomes nothing more than a rite of passage. Like I've said, death is hardly anything to be afraid of. Even so, we live in this world. It's the only one we know. This ideal Trichilocosm you speak of is just a non-existent illusion. My shout made them fall silent. For a moment, I thought they understood me, but then they all glared at me. Are you serious? Did you seriously just say that? Hey, spectator. Listen well. As a spectator, you can't save the four of them. That's not true. I actually made them happy. I remembered all my interferences and recalled the endings I'd created as a result. Sure, what I do is unclear and maybe there are better ways, but I created new possibilities in which... Really? Did you really make them happy? You're not even from that world. Those words made me realize something I tried my best to ignore. You half-assedly gave them someone to depend on, and then just vanished. Did you really make them happy? What? That wasn't true. I wanted to deny it, but I had no way of arguing with him. Right? You've no idea what happens after those endings. And that's why you're such a hopeless dimwit, Natsume. I'm impressed that someone as immature as you could become a spectator. What you did was disguise your own selfishness as kindness. You do actually understand, don't you? You know what you really are. You know about the Trichilocosm, too. What? Harisugawa began walking through that ashen world. MAMIYA vanished, almost as if to look away from it. Wait, I'm still not... Damn it! No way, that can't be. It just... Hey! Please tell me something. I knocked on the door, but got no response.
There's no one behind the door.
I felt a chill run down my spine, Turning around, I saw the librarian giving me her usual smile.
Like I said, the scent of sin can be passed on.
Miss Librarian, what happened to the person behind the door? If he was released, that means he's no longer a sinner. I should be able to meet him without issue. If you happen to know where he is.
He vanished.
What?
He vanished, disappeared. The person within the room is gone. You know what that means, don't you?
But why? The librarian was still smiling.
Why, you wonder? Well, I did tell you not to interfere, did I not?
The temperature suddenly dropped. Her eyes are colder than ever.
It's your fault. It's because you interfered and involved him that he chose to disappear in your stead.
But that's...
Normally, the disappearance of a criminal wouldn't do much for your sin. You would have followed after him, however. Our Lord was greatly moved by this friendship between sinners. You will not be punished until you finish watching the story you're currently in charge of. Isn't that great, Natsume? Do not become negligent, though. Then again, that's all you have now, I suppose.
Yes, of course. I will continue weaving the story with diligence.
Most excellent. Work hard until our Lord becomes bored of you.
After saying that, the librarian gracefully left. I couldn't move from where I was standing. He was erased in my stead? That's just... Oh, Natsume. Natsume. Oh, sorry, I've just been, hi MLG, hi Ace. I am a potato, you're right. Poor Natsume. I don't like seeing Natsume cry. It honestly makes me very sad. Ugh. I was once again unable to protect someone close to me. I collapsed where I stood. I felt devastated. I hated how weak and thoughtless I'd been, how inexperienced I truly was. I bit my lip and tried to hold back the sobs. However, the more I tried, the more tears flowed through my eyes. Why? Why? I shouldn't have talked to him. If I hadn't done that, I might have been able to touch the stories he loved. The librarian was right. I shouldn't have intervened. Even in the stories that I thought ended well, the sudden disappearance of Natsume would make them all search for me. That wasn't the happy ending I'd wanted to give them. What options did I have left? What could I possibly do now? I no longer had anyone who'd lend an ear to my woes. I was now completely alone. I have to keep reading. I have to keep reading the story. I cried, and my consciousness grew vague. I picked up the book like I always did and tried to sink into it. However, my hand simply refused to open the cover. I need to spectate, but my mind was overwhelmed. I saw their smiles from back when I was still alive. I saw the reflection of the librarian's lenses. I saw the corpses created by MAMIYA. I saw his crescent smile within the storm. I heard the gentle voice I'd only heard from my senior behind the door. I could understand this. I knew I couldn't hesitate. I had to hurry and save my friends as quickly as possible. I had to spend every second thinking of a way to make them happy. However, I couldn't bring myself to open the black cover, and I didn't have the willpower to save them anymore. How long had I been walking? Since then, I'd merely been wandering around without a clear goal. I didn't raise my face, nor did I look around. I might have passed by the librarian. She might have lost all faith in me. I'm a powerless spectator who can't even do his job right. My own words made me feel even worse. I couldn't save my friends. I had many things to ask my senior. I wanted to know the true meaning behind MAMIYA's parting words. I wanted to know how stories continue to unfold after the end credits. And finally, I wanted to know about that story he mentioned, the one that meant a lot to him.
I could no longer get answers to any of these questions. If what MAMIYA said was true, I really can't save anyone. You half-assedly gave them someone to depend on and then just vanished. Did that really make them happy? I acted as if I was doing it for their sake, but it was fueled by my own selfish egoism. Perhaps it was that from the very start. Even if I felt like I helped them, the very act of trying to save my friends who were fated to die was just for my own self-satisfaction. I couldn't do the job I was given, and I was left like this only because I was a special case. I had no idea it would lead to someone else getting sacrificed. Despite having already cried a ton, my vision grew hazy again, forcing me to close my eyes tight. I bit my lip and opened my eyes again. I stood before the door where my senior was being kept. Did I come here subconsciously?
I got something that happened was interesting, and I think it shows how much of a passion I have for games. Though, given the way this game has played with the concept of going back, I doubt this is the last time the man behind the door will be seen, or maybe it is. Also, given the strange fourth dimensional vibes a lot of that stuff gives. It's so over. I know, Poyo! So my mom doesn't play many games. She played Mario back on the NES, and that's mostly it. I had her play Mario on the Switch, and I had a smile on her face as she kept playing. Aww. Is the rest of this game just nihilism? That's to be seen, don't you think, Poyo? And if nothing else, I feel like Mina would definitely would be at least somewhat better off, even if Natsume left, just by virtue of the fact that what Natsume did was help her grow comfortable with herself. That is true. The others did have kind of a toxic codependency on Natsume, which is, not great. God, I'm being so stupid. There's no one here anymore. Feeling disheartened, I naturally cast my gaze downward, only to realize that something wasn't quite right. The door's open. I've talked to the person behind it many times, however, the door had always remained shut. The door's open! The door is open! Yet now, it was open enough to let some wind pass through. It made perfect sense. After all, there was no one to keep locked inside there anymore. There was absolutely no one here. I knew that, and yet... I placed my hand on the doorknob and slowly pulled it. Cold, moist, plain walls. It was a room so small and dark it made the faintly lit hallways look bright by comparison. It was definitely a prison, and the light seeping in through the door was dispersing some of the darkness. Within that light, there was no one. What was I expecting? Did I really toy around with the idea that he hadn't vanished at all and was now watching over me from the shadows? Ridiculous. I entered the darkness and touched the cold wall, almost as if trying to find some remnants of his warmth. I slowly lowered my hand, but right before I pulled it back, I noticed a crack at the edge of the wall. My eyes had grown accustomed to the dark, allowing me to just barely make it out. No. That wasn't a crack, but some text. After making sure that there was no one outside, I looked at the text again. It was direct and seemed to have been etched by something sharp. Are these numbers? It was a row of numbers. It seemed familiar, but I didn't exactly know why. However, the fact that it was there could only mean that it was a message left for me specifically. I had to think. Considering it was left for me, it must have been something I knew. I didn't understand what it was. I would never be able to face him. Think, damn it! I clenched my teeth and put my memory to work. A dark cell. The story he loved. The outside of this facility, which I knew nothing about. The library as vast as an ocean. All those labels etched onto the spines of books. The moment that thought flashed through my mind, I broke into a run. I hurried to the shelf that had the book with the number he'd left behind. This world had far too many books. You had to traverse a considerable distance just to get from A to B. It might have been faster if I asked the librarian, but I couldn't do that. There were other— whoops. That is a timer going off, but I'm gonna read just a little more. Put that brain cell to work, Natsume! Yeah, Natsume! I don't know if I said hi to Peg, so I'm just gonna do it again. I've been very engrossed. And so, no matter how many ladders I had to climb, no matter how many stairs I had to descend, no matter how dizzy this sea of books made me feel, I'm on my own here. I need to find it by myself. I spent a good while searching the spine with the number. Eventually, I found the right bookshelf. However, there were so many books with numbers that they simply couldn't all fit into my vision. Can I really figure out which one of these he was referring to? I looked over the spines with the numbers. Oh. And found one particular book without any text on its cover. That, in turn, made it stand out. I locked my eyes on it and used the ladder to get it. It wasn't big or anything, just a standard tankobon-sized book. Gab, what is that? Thank you, Peg. Well, there's less than 5 minutes left. I just want to say, Donna, your reading is really, really good. Like, all the emotion and feeling from the character and story hit good. Ah, thank you, Sans. That warms my little heart. I want more than anything to do this game justice. However, it weighed far more than the others. After carefully going down, I snuck behind the shelf and opened the book. What did he leave for me? Inside, I found no text at all. It was a fake book without any story in it. I flipped through the blank pages and found a handgun. I picked... The senior said, "I know how to solve your MAMIYA problem. Gun! Fucking gun!" I picked up the shiny black weapon with trembling hands. The answer was so simple, Natsume. It was so simple all along. It was heavy. I could feel its weight through my entire arm. This had to be his final ace up the sleeve. It was a weapon he'd stored away for the sake of the story he so loved. And he gave it to me. Its weight made me certain. He was gone for good. There was no one who could help me now. I was alone. I was different from my friends, and unlike any of the other spectators, there was no one I could trust now. Despite that, I have to fight. Even if I am on my own, I have to defeat MAMIYA. I strengthened my grip around the gun. See, I finally gathered my resolve. I knew now that saving something required sacrificing something else. If I wanted to protect something I held dear, I had to be ready to hurt others. It's time. I'll enter their story again. I thought you'd never come here again. The man smiled within the darkness. What's your plan? The story ends with them being taken to the Trichilocosm. That's the ending. No matter what wisdom you wield, and no matter if you feel like you've saved them, you can't actually go past that time. As long as you're a spectator, you'll never be able to save your friends. That's not true. I may not know what happens after the ending, but that's information that not even you have. They can be happy, even without me. They have the power to do that. My resolute shout made MAMIYA's eyebrows twitch in irritation. You still continue to spout that naive nonsense. You really, 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 really don't understand anything. You think they'll just lead happy lives when you leave them? The fact that you can't drop this optimism is the reason why you... I found it strange that he would raise his voice like that. However, it only lasted a moment, and he quickly regained his crescent smile. It is very nice to see Mamiya break his cool. Spectate this, Mamiya pulls out gun. Yeah! I never had wisdom, but I do have this gun! Yes, wonderful, we love an armed Natsume. The two eyes above it pierced me harder than ever before. You do actually understand, right, Natsume? His black and green eyes bore into me. I felt genuinely uneasy. Understand what? The strength of his words made me stagger. I couldn't rely on anyone. He made me feel as though someone as useless as me would just fall into the darkness of hell. The meaning behind the actions you took before the end credits. You know where you tried to take them. And you know what the trichilocosm is. Stop. You know what you are. You really do know, don't you? A moment later, darkness came over my eyes. The Mamiya's all collapsed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, very cool, but settle down just a little. The Mamiya's all collapsed. Blood spurted out. Within rain. Within a bathtub. Within the city. Within the sea. Who killed? Who cornered them? Who was responsible? Whose malice crushed them? Whose benevolence brought about their end? I had a feeling about this. I'd known it all along. I merely averted my eyes from it due to other factors. Long before Mamiya ever asked me. I'd known it since the time I died. It was obvious what the trichilocosm was. I knew where I would return. The trichilocosm was the place where people went after death. The place where Natsume went after dying. Then, that library with its countless books. Alright then, let's go to the trichilocosm where Mamiya is waiting for us. Alright then, let's go beyond that light. It's the very same trichilocosm Mamiya always spoke of. No, I don't know that! You do. I don't! You're the same. We're the same. No! Poor Natsume. I grabbed my head and writhed in agony. My brain ached, refusing to accept his words as truth. No, I didn't know that. I didn't intend that. I wanted to save them. The fact that the happy ending would lead to the same place where Mamiya, where this man was taking them. I don't! I shouted, hoping that would make the headache go away. However, my feelings and my brain accepted his words as the truth. Within my fading consciousness, I gently moved my mouth. My flesh alone seemed to reject this truth. If it stopped resisting this, I would be consumed by this darkness. Natsume, you did good for a clueless, bullish puppet of a spectator, that is. So let's end this. Don't get in the way of the story we wish for. There's nothing you can do about it. You yourself had no choice in this, did you? Within the darkness, I felt the weight of my unresponsive body. I did work hard. For someone so pitiful, I did reasonably well. Why not just rest? Perhaps he was right. I certainly was feeling a little tired. No matter how hard I tried,
Their happiness drifted farther and farther away. The more I struggled, the more alone I became. It might be a good time to just rest and look at the scenery. Yeah, you did well. You've done enough. What an enticing voice. I could hardly resist it. The gentle, peaceful land of harmony. I feel like I could see it right in front of me. Go on, take my hand. You should rest for a bit. Within my hazy vision, I saw his pale hand. I saw it as my only salvation. So,
What does he do? What does he do? What does he do? We don't know what he does. Save the game and come back later. Yup, this is a place to stop. Sans, no! I'm sorry. Why do you do this? I don't know. Why do I do this? I rarely... I am so sorry, but it's always Novelle who does this, but now I have the opportunity to do this, and now I get it. I understand why he does this. It's seriously, no. So if all the stories lead to the same end, then why do they want each story to go a specific way, and why did Mamiya tell Mayuri that the trichilocosm didn't suit her? Thank you, Sans. Appreciate my work. Okay, I love this game. It's really, let's just see if I can even answer that question. Why did Mamiya tell Mayuri that the trichilocosm didn't suit her? I don't. Look, it's how I keep you coming back, okay? I gotta reel you in. I have you hooked, now I just gotta reel, you know? Anyway, Pink, I think that Mamiya has had a, I think something has happened to Mamiya to make him decide, actually, maybe everyone should die. And, you know, like, I can see how you might come to that conclusion sometimes. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream, and you can all just stew on that until Friday. Have fun with that.